Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to another Mythic Heroes video. In today's video, we are going to be doing a guide for all of the shops that are located in the merchant ship, which is in the Ragnarok area. If you guys want to know what to buy in the general marketplace, I've already done a guide for that shop, and I'll have it in the description and in the pinned comment below, as well as in the top right corner. So feel free to check that out if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's hop straight into it. So the very first shop in this area is going to be the Portal Market. So this is the shop that's going to be corresponding to the Void Portal. So the way you earn the event currency in this shop is by simply doing your Void Portal battles. So the more points you get in Void Portal, the more of these portal coins you will earn. And if your server finishes first or second, you'll get more event currency. And yeah, so that's how you get this currency, and here's what I think you should spend it on. So if you don't have a copy of the legendary antique, the King Tut's chariot, as well as the Khufu's ship fragment, I think it's fine if you pick up one copy of each of these to complete their set bonuses if you want. But after that, I personally am not a big fan of continuing to pick up copies of these, simply because I don't think that would be the best use of your currency, as well as I don't think that these antiques are that impressive. Instead, what I would prefer spending the event currency on is going to be these inspiration waters. So if you're free to play, this shop and the Arena Market are going to be some of your only real sources of getting consistent inspiration water, so don't skimp out on these. But as for the other items and why I think you shouldn't get them, I think the Void Portal frameless looks pretty ugly and lackluster, so that's why I personally would advise against getting it. And the Astrolabe custom chests, while they might look appealing at first, they're just essentially extra resources, and you can get those simply by idling more or improving your trials damage, whereas there's really no other way to get inspiration water. And depending on how well you do in this area and how well you're able to perform in the fights, it'll affect if you're able to get 1 inspiration water or 2 inspiration waters a week. I'm able to get 2, but if you aren't, it's no biggie. Just do your best and you'll be fine. As for the elixirs, same thing with the Astrolabe custom chests. You get elixirs simply by playing the game or by doing antique summons, etc., and as well as the appraisal scrolls. So that's why me personally, I'm not a big fan of getting these from this shop. And I think the refining stones are pretty much a scam from this shop, as it's essentially just more RNG, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, so the next shop in this area is going to be the Bloodlust Market. So this shop corresponds to the event game mode known as Sinful Abyss. So there's 2 currencies in the shop. There's bloodstones and then there's blood crystals. Blood crystals are the quote-unquote premium currency, while bloodstones are the basic currency. So the way you get these is simply by doing your battles in Sinful Abyss, and depending on what floor you're at, it'll affect and how much damage you do and what your ranking tier is. So like bronze, gold, platinum, etc. It'll affect how much you get of each of these currencies. If you don't have the blood crystals unlocked yet, don't worry. I think once you start reaching higher floors, so by leveling up your heroes more, this area will all unlock and you'll get to unlock all of these. But yeah. So, oh, and then one more thing is you get more of these currency by ranking at a higher ranking on higher floors. So I'm currently on the highest floor known as the Eternal Abyss on this account, so I don't have to worry too much about my rankings, and I'll still continue to get a good chunk of these as a perk of being in the highest floor, which I believe is circle 450 as of right now. But yeah. Now let's go on to what I think you should buy in the shop. So initially, I think everyone should buy 1 copy of the elemental crystal each week so that you can unlock the slot for some of your key carries, your key supports, your key mages, etc. But I wouldn't personally go more than buying 1 copy of this, as eventually you're gonna be capped at the amount of essence you get, and you're just gonna have a ton of these elemental crystals sitting in your bag. So that's why I personally am not buying one this week, as I feel like I have enough already. But yeah, so 1 elemental crystal, and then buy out all of the normal essence, as much of the normal essence as you can. If you can't afford the elemental crystals a week and the essence, in my opinion, you should buy out all the essence first, and then use the spare remaining currency on the elemental crystal, so that you can buy out 1. And then if you have any extra currency, I prefer saving it for when the shop resets. And then again, for the Sinful Abyss avatar frame, I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's pretty lackluster. If you like it, go for it, but there's going to be better frames out there, so you might buy it and end up not using it, which is essentially wasting 30,000 of the bloodstones, which is going to feel a little bit painful later on. So this antique, normally I'm a fan of picking up 1 copy of each of the antiques to unlock their collection set bonus, but this antique set is atrocious. It's essentially just a filler antique set. It's not that great, so I'm not even going to buy 1 copy of this. For the Divinity Custom Chest, if you're really early on in the game and you desperately need to increase the divinity of some of your heroes, you can maybe consider looking at this. Same with the Soul Seal chest, but once you're a little bit further on, I feel like there's no real reason to get these. The Refining Stones, I think, with the same thing as earlier. They're just essentially just ways for you to get better stats on your iconic weapons nodes. It's a little bit complicated. I'll explain that in a future video, but essentially think of these refining stones as just another RNG aspect to get better stats. If you have a bunch of extra left over, so like if you're in late game, you can maybe consider buying a couple of these, but other than that, if you're not in late game, in my opinion, you just skip these. And then moving on to the blood crystal area, this mythic antique it's pretty expensive, and in my opinion it's just like the legendary antique in the shop. It's pretty overpriced and it doesn't really offer much, so that's a skip. Same with the refining stones. For blood crystals, they're just more RNG, so that's a skip. So then the last 2 items for blood crystals in the shop are, I think, what everyone should be focusing on. So if you're free to play, there's really no way for you to get infinity soul seals other than this shop, and then maybe future events like ascension chests from the gachapon event. But so you might be forced to pick up these infinity soul seals as much as you can if you're free to play. However, if you do have the membership, you can purchase 1 infinity soul seal every single day for 900 diamonds through that shop. So like, if you're able to afford the membership, get it. It's a fantastic deal. It'll unlock a lot of other stuff that you can purchase. So if you have the membership, I think instead what you should get is the pure essence. Pure essence is going to wall you a lot. You're going to need like 150 to 200 pure essence to take a hero to iconic weapon level 600 at the minimum, and there's really no quick way to get them outside of ascension chests and future events and then the Bloodlust market. So yeah, moving on to the Clash market. So Clash market correlates to Clash of Heroes. I'm personally not a big fan of this event, so if you're looking at my shop and wondering why I haven't bought out as much stuff and why I have so little currency, it's because I quite frankly have skipped out on doing the event. I've only done like the bare minimum so I can afford the inherited divinity. But on the very first time this event rolled around, I did try hard it, and in the sense, or quote unquote try hard, to get enough points to afford the cornucopia, as just one copy of it will unlock its will let you unlock the completed set bonus once you collect all the other antiques in the chest. So I think it's definitely worth it to get one copy of this at the bare minimum. And later on, if you are a whale or you're later on, it might be worth to continue getting copies of these antique, as its awaken bonus is kind of good for heroes like Apollo or an Odin and Archimedes, or heroes that necessarily rely on shields. But if you're free to play, I think it's only go for one of these. For the purple antique in the shop, its set bonus is atrocious, so in my opinion that's an easy skip. Same with the avatar frame. It's nothing too special, and in my opinion it looks quite bland, so that's a skip. But if you really want it, you could save up currency and get it. I think the tank voucher, if you're later on, I think it's a skip, because there's only really so many great tanks per se, and once you start getting a couple of them built up, you can build the rest of them up naturally. There's no real reason to rush copies of this. And instead, what I would advise for people to get is the Earth Essence and the Pure Earth Essence in this shop, as well as the Inherited Divinity. Buy out these three as much as you can, as you're going to be capped on Essence, and especially Pure Earth Essence for your tanks. And then the UR Hero Shard, it might look appealing to a lot of people, but remember, it's just a random UR and it's 10,000 points, which is pretty expensive. So for that reason, that's a skip in my opinion. The artifact fragments and the rune fragments, I think are going to be a skip for most people. And same with the Muse gift, as you can get Muse points naturally just by playing the game. There's no real reason to rush them. Whereas Earth Essence and Pure Earth Essence are mostly just going to be locked behind this shop. And yeah, let's move on to the next shop, which is the Dragon Troves, or the Trove Market, which correlates to the Dragon Troves event. So this shop is going to house Mage Essence and then Pure Mage Essence, I think, and then as well as Inherited Divinity. As you can see, I've already bought out all three of them, as I think they were definitely 100% worth considering getting. I'm not gonna lie, the frame in this shop looks it looks nice in my opinion, so I might consider getting it, but I'll probably only use it for a little bit, and I just like dragons, so that's why I'm getting it. Well, I'm considering getting it, but yeah. If you are just min-maxing and you don't really care about cosmetics, that's definitely a skip. Same with the other the other yellow antiques, or the other legendary antiques. I think it's definitely worth it to consider getting one copy of this antique to bolster up the collection set bonus. For the purple antique, the bearded axe fragment, I think this antique is a skip. Do not buy it, as the set bonus for this is atrocious. I don't think it's worth it. And then same with the tank voucher in the previous shop. This is the support voucher. If you're early on, it might be worth considering getting it to get copies of key heroes like Western Queen, Morrigan, Hela, Naga, etc. But once you have most of those key heroes built up, I think you can avoid getting this, as you can build them up naturally over time. And it's more important, in my opinion, to buy out the Mage Essence and the Pure Mage Essence, as well as the Inherited Divinity. Definitely buy out those three items first, and then use your excess points on the other items you would like. So if you're early on, the SSR custom voucher for support, and if you're later on, the antique custom chest for the SSRs. So Yeah, I don't think the temple maps are going to be that worth it, as it's kind of expensive, and the antique custom chest for SSRs is essentially, in my opinion, just a straight up better deal. I think the SR hero shards are pretty expensive, and just like the other Muse gifts, you get them over time, no real reason to rush them over here. And then yeah, let's move on to the Valhalla shop, or the Warchest area. So Warchest corresponds to the Valhalla event, and you get this event currency simply by playing the game mode. In this shop, definitely buy out this shop has fighter essence as well as pure fighter essence, so if you definitely buy out both of those, if you can, or if that's unlocked for you. Outside of that, I'm not gonna lie, this shop is pretty underwhelming. Once you bought out both of those with your extra points, if you want, you can buy out the Inherited Divinity or the Fighter SSR custom voucher if you're early on for copies of key heroes like Archimedes, Freya, Susano, Medusa, Apollo, etc. Once you have all of those heroes built up though, I think you can avoid buying that. I'm not a big fan of the Trojan Horse fragment, as you get this antique simply just by playing the game mode, as well as the Divine Bow of Natsu fragment. You get those simply by playing Valhalla, so you can get the set bonus for both of those pretty easily. The Fate Crystals, if you're min-maxing, I don't think it's worth getting these, but if you like to YOLO, you just want to have some fun, then go for it. You know, at the end of the day, this is a game, and if you like doing YOLO summons on Astrolabe of Fate, might as well do them. But if you're min-maxing and you want to spend it as efficiently as possible, skip the Fate Crystals. For the Antique Treasure Custom Chest, it's 660 points, which is essentially 10% more than the Inherited Divinity, and I think this can be pretty good value if you know what you're doing with your museum. If not, I think skip it, don't buy it. If you don't have enough points for it, buy the Inherited Divinity instead, but if you have a bunch of extra points left over, then it could definitely be worth considering getting this. I think the Socio Custom Chest and the Muse Gift are a skip for the same reasons as in previous shops, and yeah. Let's move on to the last shop in this area, the Rainbow Market, which corresponds to the Bifrost Bridge event. Oh, so one quick correction. So in the Trove Market, I believe this one has the support essence and the support pure essence, not the mage essence and the pure mage essence. My mistake, I apologize for that. The Rainbow Market is the market that has the mage essence and the pure mage essence, so definitely buy out both of those whenever you can, as you're going to need a lot of essence as you move up, as you level up more of your heroes' iconic weapons past a certain point to get to level 600. And yeah, I think this frame looks pretty ugly, looks pretty lackluster, so it's a skip for me. You get this antique simply by playing the event, as well as the Cretan painting antique simply by playing the event, so no real reason to prioritize buying those in my opinion. For the Mage SSR custom voucher, there's not really that many great mages in the game, especially if you're early on, so I don't think it's that worth it to buy this unless you're going to get Ascension capped or level capped, then it might be worth considering getting. And then the Inherited Divinity I think is definitely worth getting, as you're pretty much always going to need it. I haven't bought it personally quite yet, as I want to see approximately how many rainbow coins or the event currency I will end up with when the event ends, and then once that event ends, I will buy out the Inherited Divinity. And if I have extra items left over, I'll definitely consider either getting tomb maps or the Antique Development custom chests. The only reason I'm going to consider getting the Antique Development custom chests is because I'm desperately low on this orange elixir. That's the only reason I'd consider getting this. If you're not that low on orange elixir and orange elixir isn't that big an issue for you, definitely skip it and instead buy the tomb maps as well as the pure essences and the inherited divinity. I'd say skip getting the divinity custom chest unless you're like super early on, you don't have a bunch of stuff unlocked and you need a lot of divinity to upgrade your main team. Then it might be worth considering getting that, and definitely skip out on the precious flower, which is the legendary or the yellow muse gift in this area. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this shop. I apologize if this video is a little bit longer than usual, but yeah, if you made it all the way through, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps, and peace out.